April 2024 marks a significant milestone as South Africa celebrates 30 years of democracy and the Gauteng Provincial Legislature's existence. In 1994, legislatures were established to make laws for provinces and hold provincial governments accountable for service delivery and the use of public funds. Committees of the legislature consider laws, monitor the work of provincial government departments, and make recommendations about the work of departments, including their structure, functioning, and policies. Meet the chairpersons.
Once again, and this discussion is brought to us by the Gauteng Provincial Legislature. We're in conversation with the chairperson of the Finance Portfolio Committee, Honourable Andiswa Mosai. The people of Gauteng are grateful for your time, and we appreciate you taking the opportunity to speak to us.
Thank you so much.
Can we start by asking you to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am a mother. I'm an activist. I'm a Christian, but I'm very strict in terms of doing my work. I come from a professional background, and I'm also a former speaker of the district municipality in Sedibeng. But I'm also currently studying for my PhD with the University of KwaZulu-Natal. So I basically spend most of my time at work and also serving.
Well, let's talk about your work then. Can you outline the core functions of the Finance Portfolio Committee?
The Finance Portfolio Committee is mandated and guided by the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. In fact, we get our mandate from Section 1142 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, because you would recall that the Constitution would demand that the legislature does oversight or conduct oversight over the provincial executive authority, but also to ensure that we keep the provincial executive authority accountable to the people of Gauteng, to the people of South Africa. So where we take our mandate as the Portfolio Committee is to ensure that the Gauteng Provincial Treasury Department, in terms of their performance, we monitor their annual performance. We monitor their quarterly performance in terms of the report that we table in the legislature. But we also do an oversight on the expenditure of the Gauteng Provincial Government Department. So that's what we do. So we make sure that in terms of the non-financial and financial performance of those the two departments, and obviously we've got entities that also fall under the Gauteng Provincial Treasury. We make sure that they also align the annual performance plans. They also make sure that we do a financial performance monitoring on them, whether it's it's in year or through questions that we also pose to them, and then they also come and present as departments. So that's what we do as the portfolio committee.
Talk to us about the most significant challenges that are faced by departments that you oversee. Specifically looking at issues from the first quarter.
We found out that during the first quarter there was a lack of recruitment processes undertaken in terms of the senior management level. So you have a department that has a target for over 50% of women that they must recruit and also maintain or sustain the department. But most, obviously, they don't have control, because some would resign because of greener pastures. And also some of the problem that they're having is pay of invoices within 30 days, which affects, obviously, the entrepreneurs and business people that will be forced to also close their businesses because they have not been paid. And you will find out that municipalities are also not, performing satisfactorily because they are not adhering to the, municipal finance government program. So those are the issues that we will realize that, they are there. And also in terms of their target with making sure that the youth and people who are disabled do get businesses from government. So that is the challenges that we have been faced with during this first quarter.
And one would have looked through the report in terms of compliance, paying suppliers, within 30 days at the end of the 2023-2024 financial year. I see that most departments would have achieved like 100% compliance. I mean, that's fantastic. Department of Health, I think social development, sports, arts and culture, and recreation, those departments were regressing.
Yes.
How's that being addressed?
We actually convened those departments, but because what we do is, in as much as we want to look at how many companies have not been paid within the 30 days, but we also look at the amount, of money that has not been dispersed. So now we convened those departments with the MECs to come and explain what is it that they are doing. But we also invited the Department of Gauteng Provincial Treasury. The MEC was also there with all the head of departments to give us what was it that they will be put in as the mitigating plans. And we have received a progressive and a good report from the MEC that he will be taking those departments with him in terms of holding their hands so that they are able to turn around the situation that is currently happening.
And just in brief, talk to us about the importance of the finance portfolio committee, of which you are chair. The collaboration with other committees.
We collaborate with other committees. I think I've also mentioned now that when we invited the other departments, we also invited the chairpersons of those committees because we would want them to also do an oversight, and we're expecting that all the portfolio committees that we are collaborating with in terms of the work that we are doing, they do a financial monitoring and in-year monitoring of those departments, and they must make sure that they do align to their annual performance plans.
Honourable Mosai, public participation, huge aspect in terms of the work that is done by the provincial legislature.
Yeah.
What is your view in terms of the amount of public participation in terms of your experience?
I think in fact, we don't have a choice. It comes from the Constitution. Section 118 of the Constitution mandates us as the legislature to make sure that public is engaged in the processes of the legislation. The people's voice must be heard, and they must also engage or be involved in financial planning and budgeting processes so that we know in terms of service delivery or what impact we have in the communities. So for me, public participation is important, but public participation must not be only on compliance, where we tick the box. It must be relevant to the people, and we must make sure that we do engage, officials do inform the communities when we do go out to the communities, or we invite them in our own meetings where we send out adverts, so that they are able to also give inputs in terms of the information that we would want. But it is very important that we involve the public in the legislation. In fact, I am told that the legislature faces a situation where if we don't adhere to that, we can be taken to court. But it's also not about court processes. It's about us knowing why we are there, which is we are there to serve.
And just in closing of our discussion, I'm sure you're going to grow into other spheres of government, especially with your studies and so forth. When your work is done with this, finance portfolio committee, when you look back, what would you want to have standing there as your legacy, as part of your contribution towards serving the people of Gauteng?
I think for me, I would want to see less wasteful expenditure reports. I would want to see us continuing with financial audits that must take place in real time as well. I would want us, to see that the legislature and those that serve in the legislature are accountable and transparent in terms of their processes. But obviously, in terms of governance as well, that, there should be public participation, as you have just asked me now, that we must continue along those lines. that we must be able to have capacity building skills internally, so that in whether it's in municipality or whether it's in the legislature or in the provincial governments, we're able to serve people, but we must be able to capacitate ourselves as well. But for me, there should be less, no corruption. In fact, there should be zero a tolerance policy that should be implemented in terms of corruption. That there should be a socio-economic impact. Where, the impact should be, whether it's business people that should be able to engage and also grow their businesses, but there must be jobs. There must be inclusive growth in terms of our economy.
Honourable Andiswa Mosai, thank you so much for taking time to speak to the people of Gauteng, and good luck with both your studies and the work that you do as chairperson of the Finance Portfolio Committee.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.